here's a good question for Ethan. This is sort of your fetish. Which player's wingspan is more fun?
Yes.
Jason Maxiell or Larry Sanders?
I like the idea of a wingspan being fun. I would go with Larry Sanders.
Yeah.
I off the top of my head, I know that they both have great wingspans, but I feel like Larry Sanders has more blocking ability. I don't know their numbers off the top of my head, but also your wingspan fun is augmented by sharing the name of the lead character played by Gary Shandling in a classic sitcom that was on HBO during the 90s, and in many ways was a definitive 90s show. So I'll always go with Larry Sanders over any other name.
There you go. Yeah, Jason Maxiell is funny because he
who
looks
has
so unfunctional. His long is just so long. Sorry, Zach. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I researched it yesterday, and then I saw it in person last night. David West has a very fun wingspan that we always forget about. He's like 6'9", and he has a wingspan of 7'4". His wingspan is incredible. It's fun to see in person.
Why he doesn't use it? I feel looking it
Doesn't
up.
he?
Larry Sanders has a 7'5.5" wingspan, which is 2 inches more than Maxiell. So, I hate to reduce this to size determining things, but I think right there.
Objectify these athletes.
Size matters.
Right there you go.
Everything
more
is
fun.
phallic for Ethan.
All right, we're going to do our league average now, and I'm just going to run through 3 free agents or people not free agents that are rumored to be possibly on the move, and we'll do quick takes on whether or not they think that they are useful. So this is not whether or not it's a great player, but whether or not the player could be useful. First one, Ramon Sessions. Don't call him Raymond. What do you guys think?
I think useful, but not on his team. I think that we're both a fan of Sessions, Beckley. He can run a pick and roll very effectively. He is a damned good backup point guard, and on a team like the Knicks, just complete starting point guard on a team like the Knicks. But I don't think with the situation that Cleveland has right now, with Kyrie Irving trying to develop and trying to, in my mind, should be eating as many minutes as possible. I don't know if it completely makes sense for them to have Sessions on that team, unless they're trying to tank, which they aren't.
Cluck, cluck, cluck. Just mother henning on Kyrie any chance you get. Yeah, I think, I think Sessions is also a very undervalued player, and I think the Lakers would do very well to acquire him. They need someone who can actually make a play with the ball in his hands, shoot a decent percentage. And Sessions, I think, while you may not say he's elite, is definitely a very, very good pick-and-roll guard. And I think he will help someone if he moves to a team that needs that punch off the bench, or even, as you say, in their starting lineup.
It concerns me. Maybe this is unfair because it's just bad luck. It concerns me that he's never done anything for a winning team, and that's kind of just it's not a great mentality, but you can kind of point to maybe he's the Sharif Abdur-Rahim of backup point guards, where it's just a lot of empty stats that don't mean anything. I don't know that it's for certain that that's what he is, but it bothers me that we've never seen him in a successful situation.
You're turning into Kenny Smith before our very eyes. I just expect you to start shouting like, "How many rings do he have, Chuck?" Just
on his head, on his head.
I'm going to walk back to this bookcase and do Zach's books.
All right, free agent so I think this guy's basically a free agent. Kevin Martin. Not Kevin Martin. Sorry, Kenyon Martin. Kevin Martin is not going anywhere. Kenyon Martin. He's been released from the clutches of China. And he is now available. Is he someone who can come in and help a team add a little bit of mid-range shooting and defense at the rim? Zach, you hate this guy. Am I going too far in saying that?
I wouldn't say I hate him necessarily. I just don't think he's very good. I mean, he's better than your average backup power forward, but anyone who's been called out by Tim Thomas for being a tough guy, that is really just a scared little cat. Who's been called a fugazi, who has lips on his neck that were turned into a tattoo or into like a crown.
Trina.
It bothers me if Tim Thomas is. Sure, Trina's just, I mean, she's a doll. It bothers me if Tim Thomas has called you out for being a fake tough guy. So, no, he's below league average.
Yeah, I like that he has the lips from Trina, star of the Beat Beat, Pull Over That Ass Is Too Fat song and music video. I think that's a classy lady. That's forever when you get those lips.
That was the whitest moment of this show, actually. We need to. That needs to become a gif.
It was better than Bob Lay. It was almost whiter than Bob Lay reading the lyrics from Blow the Whistle. That was a great moment, also in whiteness. I think Kenny Martin's. I feel better about Kenny Martin if he could block some shots. I don't think he's that good. I also think he's just kind of a bad guy. I didn't like when he was yelling homophobic slurs at Mark Cuban after a game like a madman. And he probably has lost enough athleticism where he's just not the same guy anymore. So below average, I would say. Beat.
Yeah, I might agree there. I think he's a little more headache than he's worth at this point. Although. And I can't think. The other thing is, I can't think. He plays power forward position. I can't think of a contender or a team that would really be boosted by his addition. Like, he's not going to be better than like Thad Young on the Sixers. Wouldn't you take Tyler Hansbrough over him if you were the Pacers? I mean, like what?
Oh, I'd take Hansbrough.
Yeah,
over
he might
sure.
steady that front line. I don't know.
I guess the Lakers, just because he's probably better than Josh McRoberts, although that's a.
Yeah, well, he's going to be cheap, it looks like. $2.5 million is the asking price, so not too bad. All right, last one that we're going to talk about is the Wampa himself, the man from the Great White North, Chris Kaman. I don't even know if he's actually from Canada. I just assume that he is. How do we rate his effect? He's 7 feet tall. He can catch and sort of put the ball in the basket. That usually is enough to be good at basketball. But we're getting a lot of head shakes here. Is he actually just terrible?
He's terrible. Why is everybody talking about him? Why is everybody talking about him like he's good? He's not. He's too slow.
He's so tall.
He doesn't shoot well enough. Yeah, he's tall, but he's not. He doesn't translate that into good. He doesn't translate that into productivity. And I feel like he's one of the many guys where perhaps back in the 90s we could find a spot for him, but in today's game it's too fast, too much happening. You can't really. It's just not worth it. Below average. I think Zach gave himself a concussion.
So I did get a little dizzy from doing that for a minute straight. He's so bad. No, he's not. He's not worth it. He's so bad.
All right. Well, Chris Kaman put out to pasture. He's been replaced by the great Gustavo Ayón in New Orleans.
That
guy's eating up those big man minutes.
He's a fake person. There's no such person as Gustavo Ayón. He is a created player in a video game. He's fake.
He did just come out of nowhere to be like very good.
Nowhere. Really no one's ever heard of him.
No one had ever heard.
I don't know. Like when we're interviewing people with names that sound fake, like Ben Golliver doesn't sound real to me, but he does exist and he was fantastic on the show. I think that a guy like Gustavo
Ayón could be a hologram. They do great things with holograms on CNN now. Will.i.am was a hologram for like political stuff. That happens.
I think Ayón has like the third best PER for power forwards right now. By the way, somebody look that up. Or I don't even know what position he plays, to be honest. But his PER is
our research staff to get right on that.
Does he exist, and what position does he play if he does?
Yeah, it's even Draft Express was like, who in God's name is he? Actually, I'm sure he knew and took credit for, actually helping.
It'll be funny. But, it'll be funny if it's like if Gavoni, it's like there are some pros like I think he's a good shooter, and then cons is I don't know who this person is. Like needs improvement, proving that he exists.
May be a fictitious person. like the chupacabra.